What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. Sorry it's been a little while, but with Christmas and all that, things have been a bit hectic. But I thought I'd do a relatively simple mod today, and that is replace the airbox with an air filter, pod filter, so that obviously you can hear the blow off noise when you change gears or when the car's just revving, basically. So stay tuned. Alright, so you can hear the car running now. Obviously, as I said, it's stock, so I don't really have an exhaust or anything on there, just the standard stuff. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to rev the engine a little bit so you can hear, obviously, what it sounds like. And you pretty much won't be able to hear the blow off valve, because that's obviously plumbed back, and with an air filter or airbox on it, it doesn't really make a noise. Just bear with me 1 second. So yeah, you can't hear nothing, just the general sound of the R34. Yeah, we'll get started. Alright guys, in terms of pod filters and things like that, you've got a couple of different options for cars like obviously the Skyline or pretty much anything else, WRXs, pretty much anything that has obviously air induction, you can put a pod filter on depending on what it is, basically. So I've got a couple of options for the Skyline that we can use. One is obviously the standard HKS mushroom filter with the adapter on the back to connect right up to the airflow meter. Or the other option is something like the Apexi one, which obviously bolts directly straight into the airflow meter. Or something like this. Now, the reason why I won't use the Apexi one is because I bought it very, very cheap online when I was a lot younger. I've never used it before, but pretty much I question whether or not it's real, and I don't like using fake parts in my car because obviously I just question the build quality and things like that. So I'm going to be running with this. This is one that I bought pretty much about a year and a half ago. It was used. I bought it off a friend. It was used off their WRX. So what I've actually done is I've actually taken this part here. You can see where it used to join to WRX on these ones here on the mass airflow meter, and I've basically just taken a template that you use when you buy obviously the adapter for the mass airflow, and I basically just traced around it, and I've drilled my own holes so it fits directly onto the airflow meter. Pretty easy to do. Again, this I paid about $20 for. I guess if they retail in the shops, you buy brand new ones for $200 or so. So it was definitely worth it. It is genuine. It is genuine from Japan, so it's a good buy, I reckon. And you can replace the filters in them as well. So you can obviously replace this part here, which I will be ordering a new one soon. But this one's actually not too bad, so it's overall not a bad buy. But yeah, once we put that on, obviously you'll be able to tell that you can hear the blow off valve, and it's going to give you that that everyone likes. But I guess it's just using a proper filter as well, to make sure that obviously your car's going to get the air that it needs. Of course, nothing's better than running an airbox, but hey, you replace some things for functions and some things for fun. What I'll be doing is I'm going to be chucking this on there too. That's going to connect up when I bolt everything in, so I can hold it down, make it nice and legal too. That's pretty much just an air filter bracket. This part here is not. I bought this from Bunnings for about $3, so you can buy them readily available. So yeah, bear with me. Alright guys, so there's 4 bolts that hold in the airbox, and excuse the noise, but I'm going to do stuff out on the road today. 4 bolts, I've already removed 3 of them, so I'll just remove the last one here. You don't actually need to sit and remove all 4 of them. I don't think you need to do that. But all just simple stuff here. And as you saw before, obviously just unboxing this is just taking all these parts off here. It's a good idea to, while with all your bolts and things from your airbox and stuff like that, it's a good idea to put them in a sandwich bag like this, and just when you take the airbox off, just keep them in there and put them inside the actual airbox too. It makes it a lot easier when you're looking for stuff again, and that way you can pretty much be guaranteed that you'll never be missing bolts or anything like that, because you'll have them all labelled up and stuff like that. We'll just take the airbox off now. Alright guys, so we've taken the lid off now. Basically this should all pop out. What you'll need to be doing is obviously unplug the airflow sensor cable here, which isn't too difficult if I had both hands, but again, I'm sorry guys that you've got to put up with this until I get some, obviously, until I'm able to get some stuff to actually put this on my head and record that way. Alright, so we're just going to take off the induction pipe clamp here, which is just an 8mm bolt. So once it's done now, you should be able to just pull the whole thing out. It shouldn't give you too much trouble, to be honest with you. Again, if I had two hands, it'd be a lot easier, but I don't. So I'll get this out of the car and then I'll come back. Alright, so that's it there. We're going to run through another step too today, and that is cleaning, obviously, the MAF or airflow sensor, whatever you got in your car. I'll be using liquid moly airflow sensor cleaner. To get this out, you've got 4 bolts here that take a 10mm socket. So I'll do that quickly and then I'll come back. So as I said, we're going to clean the MAF. I've got this stuff here, liquid moly airflow sensor cleaner, and what you want to do is just basically spray it. Make sure you get in there, put everything. It doesn't need much, just enough to obviously hit the little elements which you can see inside there. I don't know how well you can see them, but they're in there like that. And just basically clean all the muck off there. Once you give them a good, obviously, a few seconds of spraying, put it out in the sun so it can dry. And then once you do that, you're probably ready for the next step. Alright guys, so look, basically you've got your MAF here, or your airflow sensor, whatever you choose to call it, and pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting this backing plate and obviously mounting it to here. Now that's how it's going to eventually sit. Where you choose to have the screws and whatnot, it's up to you. What I'll be doing is I'll be using this obviously rubber seal. It's like a giant washer for it, which obviously helps with adhesion, and obviously you're not going to get any air leaks. You normally get them when you buy obviously the pod filter adapter from any auto parts store or anything like that. You normally get that one there and it comes with it. I'll be running it with this anyway because I don't want any leaks. But yeah, where you choose to have your bolts protruding and whatnot, it's entirely up to you. I prefer having the screws out because I don't obviously want it to get any air leaks, and obviously God forbid if one of the bolts were to come loose or the nuts were to come loose, I don't want a nut shooting straight into my engine bay. It's not going to be a fun time for anyone. So yeah, pretty much just line all these up like so, and you'll be good to go. Again, the nuts are 10mm, so fairly standard for most things. I'm going to do this up and I'll come straight back. Alright guys, so you can see that's all done now. Pretty much everything's where it's meant to be. As I said, I like to have my bolts facing outwards and the nuts, so obviously nothing can obviously get through there eventually, if it ever does, and ruin the whole engine, I guess. So we'll get this reinstalled now, and then obviously I'll do a comparison between when we first started it and obviously not being able to hear the blow-off valve, as to obviously putting the pod filter on there now and being able to hear it. Alright guys, it's all in. As you can see, I pretty much put a bolt through the wheel well here, up into here, so I can put a nut on that so it holds it all sturdy. Depending on where you live, you may have different laws. In Australia, or especially South Australia, they're very strict on their car things. In terms of, obviously, if you have a pod filter in, it must be bolted down securely, and you cannot have anything obviously obstructing, so that if you were in an accident, nothing could come flying off, pretty much. So I'm going to put my, I guess, snorkel back on, because obviously, although it's not got the airbox on there anymore, it is going to feed some air through to the pod filter, which obviously make it run better than if it had nothing at all. But yeah, for sure, it's entirely up to you. Some people don't like having them there. I know a few 34s on YouTube that run without them. Me, well, this is my car, so I guess I'll have it the way I want it. But as you can see, obviously it comes through the bonnet here, straight into there, and you're going to get some sort of cool air flowing into here, which is what Nissan intended anyway. Having nothing there, well, obviously you're not going to get anything, so I prefer to run with it on the car, and I recommend anyone else do this too. Installation for your non-turbo 34s are going to be virtually the same. There's nothing overly too much different about it. I mean, obviously the turbo setup is obviously turbo, but the NA version, I mean, it's still got its mass airflow meter or airflow meter or sensor or anything like that. It's just in the case of obviously putting an adapter on there and putting a pod, which is not going to give you thousands and thousands of kilowatts, if any, but it is going to give you a deeper tone when you obviously accelerate, especially at those higher RPMs. So we'll start the car up now, and we'll have a bit of a listen as to what it's like. So the car started now. For those of you who don't know where the blow-off valve is, it's right here. That's where the blow-off valve is, just there. I do have a plate to block that off, and you can see I've got it in one of my other videos of my old 34 with a blocked off blow-off valve, which creates that kind of whistle sound that everyone likes. But for now we'll just keep it like this. I will show you how to install one eventually. I've got a couple of other mods coming up soon, which involve obviously styling. I'm going to change the indicators to the type S-tune versions, and also the rear lights. We'll be fixing them up too. So we'll see how it sounds now. So yeah, you obviously get that turbo whoosh sound that everyone likes. It sounds good when you're changing gears, obviously. Is it going to give you more power than if you didn't have the airbox on there? Probably not. Probably get more power with the airbox, but hey, at the end of the day, each their own. So look, thanks for tuning in, guys, again. And look, I'll have something else for you guys soon. Thanks, bye.